I would say asset and stock purchases are quite common, even with small purchases. I've commonly structured transactions both ways, even with small businesses located here in Rapid City. It's very fact dependent on which type of transaction that you want to enter into. One of the biggest differences between the ways to purchase a business is when you either purchase assets or the equity interests in that business. And there's some important aspects to consider when you're making that decision. For example, with an asset purchase, one of the major reasons to do that is when you're trying to avoid the liabilities that are associated with the business itself. You can purchase the assets themselves and leave the liability behind with the entity that you're not purchasing. On the other hand, when you purchase an equity interest in the business, whether you're purchasing all or part of it, one of the principal concerns there is continuing with the contracts that the business has already entered into. Because when you purchase the assets, that you're not purchasing the entity, so those contracts can a lot of times be canceled. They include provisions that can cancel the contracts. So if you're purchasing the equity interest, the principal reason is to continue the contracts. When a buyer purchases stock, there's oftentimes debt associated with that purchase if cash isn't paid. And so with that purchase, there needs to be some sort of security for the debt that's owed on that purchase. And when people think of security, a lot of times they think of real estate and assets of the business itself. But a lot of times people don't think that they can also get security in the stock of the business as well. And that would entitle them to the accounts receivable, the cash, and all of the business, or all the assets of the business. And that way you have full security as opposed to just having security in some of the assets. So when a buyer does get security in the stock of a company, they'll want assurances that that company continues to operate in the proper manner. For example, if the security is in the stock and the new owners run that business into the ground, it's worthless, and that security isn't worth anything anymore. So the buyers, if they do have security in stock, will want to have certain rights to information to ensure that that business continues to be operated correctly, so that if the business does in fact start to go downhill, they can step in and at least try to save some value in the security that is the stock of that company.